welcome to our deep dive into Ikigai.
Hmm.
That Japanese philosophy everyone keeps talking about. We're going to break down not just what it is, but how to actually use it.
Exactly.
All based on, well, excerpts from the book Ikigai, The Japanese Secret to a Long and Happy Life, and its reference notes. Get ready to learn about the 80% secret, Takumi's,
Oh, yeah.
and your finger's surprising connection to living to 100.
That's right. And it all starts with, understanding Ikigai itself.
Okay?
Think of it this way, like, what gets you excited to start your day? What keeps you engaged for hours? Losing track of time. That's your Ikigai at work.
So it's not just about having a job you like, but like finding that spark in anything you do.
Exactly. It's about finding purpose in all areas of your life, like your relationships, your hobbies, contributions to your community. It's about that feeling of, like deep satisfaction and joy that comes from, living a life that's true to yourself.
I like that. And the book takes us to a really fascinating place to like illustrate this, Okinawa, Japan.
Right.
It's one of those blue zones everyone's always talking about, an area where people live like incredibly long lives.
Yeah. And the book tells this amazing story of a 102-year-old karate master in Okinawa who still practices every day.
Wow.
And he credits his long life to, never retiring and always staying active.
Okay, I have to admit, the idea of never retiring sounds a little daunting to me, but I guess the point is to find something you're so passionate about, you never want to stop doing it.
That's it. It highlights the idea that Ikigai isn't about age. It's about, finding something that keeps you passionate and engaged no matter what stage of life you're in.
Now, these Okinawans seem to have figured out a thing or two about longevity, and the book shares one of their secrets, harahachibu. It's the practice of eating until you're only 80% full. Honestly, I can be a bit of a clean plate club member, so I'm very curious to hear more about this.
Yeah. The beauty of harahachibu is its simplicity.
No calorie counting, no complicated diets, just mindful eating.
I like that.
It's, about tuning into your body's signals and stopping when you feel comfortably satisfied, not stuffed.
So it's like being more present during meals and really listening to what your body needs. I can see how that could be a game changer for both physical and mental well-being.
Absolutely. And speaking of mental well-being, the book makes this fascinating connection between mental activity and longevity. It argues that staying mentally active is it's like a workout for your brain, helping to keep it sharp and, potentially even slowing down the aging process.
Oh, so it's like a mental gym.
Exactly. Challenging your brain with new information, learning new skills, or simply engaging in stimulating conversations. All of these things contribute to a more youthful and resilient brain. The book even quotes an Israeli neuroscientist, Shlomo Breznitz, who emphasizes the importance of breaking routines and exposing our brains to, fresh input. It makes sense when you think about it. If we get stuck in the same old routines, our brains aren't being challenged, and they might not be as sharp as they could be.
Right. It's all about, keeping those neural pathways firing and forging new connections.
So we've talked about finding purpose, staying active, both like physically and mentally, and being mindful of what we eat.
Right.
But what about that other big factor that can impact our well-being? Stress.
Stress is a fascinating topic.
It is.
And the book dives into the biology of it, explaining its evolutionary purpose and, how its role has shifted in our modern world. For our ancestors, stress was crucial for survival. Imagine cave dwellers constantly on high alert for predators. That acute stress response was essential for their safety.
It's amazing how our bodies are wired for these fight or flight responses, even though, most of us aren't facing like life or death situations on a daily basis.
Exactly. The problem is that in today's world, we're often bombarded with stressors,
Right.
that trigger that same response. But it's a constant low-grade stress that never really lets up.
So it's like we're constantly on high alert, even if there's no saber-toothed tiger lurking around the corner. But the book doesn't just leave us hanging with all this stress, does it?
Not at all. The book offers a compelling solution. Mindfulness. Techniques like meditation, deep breathing, even simply taking a few moments to focus on the present moment can help us calm our minds and regain control over our stress response.
Mindfulness has become such a buzzword these days, but it sounds like it's a crucial part of the Ikigai philosophy.
It really is. By cultivating mindfulness, we can learn to navigate the inevitable challenges of life with greater ease and resilience.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of navigating challenges, let's move on to another fascinating concept that the book explores: flow.
Flow. That sounds intriguing. What exactly does that mean?
The book draws upon the work of psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, who describes flow as that state of complete absorption in an activity. It's that sweet spot, where our skills perfectly match the challenge at hand, and we lose ourselves in the moment.
I think I've experienced that before, like when I'm writing and the words just seem to flow effortlessly onto the page.
Yes.
Time seems to disappear, and I'm completely immersed in the creative process.
Exactly. That's the power of flow. And the book emphasizes that finding activities that lead to this flow state is essential for a truly fulfilling and joyful life.
So it's not just about achieving something, but about enjoying the process itself.
Yeah.
And this is starting to sound like a pretty amazing way to live. But I'm curious, is flow something that's only accessible to like artists and creatives? Or can we experience it in everyday life too?
That's a great question. And the book actually takes us on a detour to a very specific place to explore this idea further. The world of Takumi.
Takumi, what exactly is that?
Think of Takumi as the Japanese version of master artisans.
Okay.
They dedicate their entire lives to perfecting their craft,
Right.
whether it's, making pottery, crafting sushi, or even creating those incredibly intricate bonsai trees.
So it's about striving for like excellence and mastery in whatever you do.
Precisely. And the book highlights how this dedication and focus can lead to a deep sense of fulfillment and even flow. It paints this captivating picture of a makeup brush Takumi working in a serene, light-filled room,
Wow.
embodying the dedication and focus of Japanese artisans. It's incredible testament to the power of pursuing your passion with relentless dedication. And it's interesting to note that Steve Jobs,
Oh.
the visionary behind Apple, was deeply inspired by the philosophy of Takumi.
That's fascinating. I can definitely see how that philosophy of craftsmanship and attention to detail is reflected in Apple's products.
Yeah.
But still, the idea of dedicating your entire life to mastering like one craft seems like a pretty lofty goal. It makes me wonder, can we achieve a similar sense of flow in more everyday activities?
Absolutely. And that's where the concept of microflow comes in.
Okay.
The book shares this heartwarming story of a cheerful elevator operator who found immense joy and purpose in her seemingly mundane job.
Go.
It highlights the power of reframing tasks and finding meaning in the small details.
So even something as simple as operating an elevator can be an opportunity for flow if you approach it with the right mindset.
Exactly. It's about finding those moments of joy in everyday tasks. Think of it, like when you're cooking and you get lost in the rhythm of chopping vegetables, or when you're, gardening and you feel completely connected to nature. Those are moments of microflow.
It sounds like it's all about like being present in the moment and finding the beauty in the everyday. But let's face it, life isn't always a smooth ride. We all face challenges and setbacks. How does the Ikigai philosophy address this?
That's where resilience comes in. The book highlights a powerful Japanese proverb: fall 7 times, rise 8. It beautifully illustrates, the spirit of perseverance that's so central to Ikigai.
Fall 7 times, rise 8. That's such a powerful image. It reminds us that setbacks are inevitable, but that it's our ability to get back up that truly defines us.
Yeah.
But is it just about bouncing back to where we were before, or is there something more to it?
That's a great question. And the book actually goes a step further, introducing the concept of wabi-sabi, appreciating the beauty in imperfection and the ever-changing nature of life.
Wabi-sabi, that sounds familiar, but I'm not sure I fully grasp its meaning.
Think of it as letting go of the need for perfection and embracing the inherent beauty in things as they are, with all their imperfections and impermanence.
So it's like finally letting go of that need to have a perfectly organized desk.
Yeah.
A little clutter can be charming, right?
Exactly. It's about shifting our perspective and seeing the beauty in the unexpected and the imperfect. And, this idea of embracing imperfection actually ties into another concept that the book explores: anti-fragility.
Anti-fragility. That's a new one for me.
It's a fascinating concept introduced by Nassim Nicholas Taleb.
Okay.
And it asks a really important question. can we not just survive challenges, but actually, grow stronger from them? That's the essence of anti-fragility, not just bouncing back, but becoming even more resilient through adversity.
Okay, this is blowing my mind a little bit. So it's not just about resilience. It's about becoming almost invincible in the face of challenges.
That's a great way to put it. And the book actually gives us some actionable steps to cultivate anti-fragility in our lives. It encourages us to diversify our skills and experiences, to, step outside of our comfort zones, and to embrace uncertainty as an opportunity for growth.
This is all incredibly inspiring. It feels like we're just scratching the surface of what Ikigai can offer. But I have to ask, where do we go from here? How do we take all of this amazing information and actually apply it to our lives?
Well, the book provides a great starting point with what it calls the 10 rules of
The
Ikigai.
10 rules of Ikigai. Tell me more.
These aren't, strict rules, but rather, gentle guidelines to help us stay on the path to a fulfilling life. And the first one might sound familiar. Stay active, don't retire.
Yeah. There's that Okinawan karate master again.
Yeah.
But it doesn't necessarily mean we all have to like practice martial arts into our hundreds, right?
Yeah. Right. It's about finding an ikigai that keeps you moving. Maybe it's gardening, volunteering, or even just taking a daily walk with a friend. The point is to stay engaged and active, both physically and mentally, throughout your life.
And rule number 2?
Take it slow.
Oh, in our fast-paced world, that sounds like a radical act of self-care.
It really is. It's about slowing down, savoring the moment, and appreciating the simple things in life. It's about resisting the urge to, rush through life and instead embrace a more mindful and present approach.
I'm already feeling more relaxed just thinking about it. Okay, what's rule number 3?
Don't fill your stomach.
Okay.
This one ties in perfectly with the concept of harahachiba that we talked about earlier.
Wow.
It's a gentle reminder to practice mindful eating and be aware of our body's signals of illness.
So it's not about deprivation, but about listening to our bodies and honoring our hunger cues.
Exactly. And rule number 4 is all about our social connections. Surround yourself with good friends.
Yes.
Cultivating meaningful relationships is essential for a happy and fulfilling life. Friends provide, support, laughter, and shared experiences that enrich our lives immeasurably.
It's true. Good friends are like medicine for the soul.
Yeah.
Okay, what's next on the list?
Rule number 5, get in shape for your next birthday. It's a reminder to prioritize our physical well-being, to move our bodies and engage in activities that bring us joy.
I like that it's not about getting in shape for a specific event or to fit into a certain size, but about celebrating the gift of another year of life.
Exactly. It's about honoring our bodies and treating them with care and respect.
So we've got staying active, slowing down, mindful eating, nurturing friendships, and taking care of our physical health. What else is there?
Rule number 6, smile. It might sound simple, but it's a powerful reminder of the impact that a positive attitude can have. A smile can brighten someone's day, including our own. It's about choosing to focus on the good, even amidst challenges.
I love that. A smile can be contagious and create a ripple effect of positivity. Okay, what's next?
Rule number 7, reconnect with nature.
Oh, no.
The book reminds us that we are part of the natural world, and that spending time in nature can be incredibly restorative and grounding.
It's so true. Whether it's a walk in the park, a hike in the mountains, or simply sitting under a tree, nature has this way of calming our minds and rejuvenating our spirits.
And rule number 8 is all about gratitude. Give thanks. Cultivating gratitude for the people and things in our lives is a powerful way to boost happiness and well-being. It's about appreciating the simple joys and acknowledging the good.
Gratitude is such a powerful practice.
Yeah.
It helps us shift our focus from what we lack to what we have, which can make a huge difference in our overall outlook on life.
Absolutely. And rule number 9 is all about being present, live in the moment. It's a call to, let go of regrets about the past and anxieties about the future, and to fully embrace the present moment.
It's so easy to get caught up in our thoughts and worries, but this rule reminds us that the present moment is all we really have.
And finally, rule number 10 brings us full circle. Follow your Ikigai. It's a reminder that finding our purpose and passion is a journey, not a destination. Embrace the process of discovering what truly lights you up and never stop pursuing it.
It's a beautiful reminder that life is a journey of exploration and discovery,
Hmm.
and that Ikigai is not something we find like once and for all, but something we cultivate and nurture throughout our lives.
Exactly. It's about embracing the journey and enjoying the ride.
This has been an incredible deep dive so far. We've covered so much ground, from understanding what Ikigai is to like exploring practical ways to incorporate its principles into our lives. But I'm sure there's even more to uncover. What else can we expect in part 2 of this deep dive?
Well, in part two, we'll delve deeper into some of the fascinating concepts that that we've touched upon.
Right.
Like flow and anti-fragility. We'll explore practical techniques for cultivating these qualities in our lives and discuss how they can contribute to a more, fulfilling and resilient existence.
That sounds amazing. I'm really intrigued by this idea of anti-fragility becoming stronger through challenges. Can you give us a little preview of what we can expect to learn about that in part 2?
Of course. We'll explore how embracing uncertainty and stepping outside of our comfort zones can actually make us more resilient in the face of adversity. We'll also discuss how diversifying our skills and experiences can act as a buffer against, unexpected events.
It's almost like building a safety net for life's inevitable ups and
Oh,
downs.
exactly. And we'll also delve deeper into the concept of flow and how we can create more of those moments of effortless engagement in our lives. We'll discuss, practical tips for identifying activities that lead to flow and explore how we can structure our days to maximize these experiences.
So it's not just about finding those activities, but also about like creating the right conditions for flow to occur.
Precisely. We'll also look at how we can, apply the principles of Ikigai to different areas of our lives,
Okay.
such as our relationships, our work, and our leisure time. We'll discuss how, finding our Ikigai can bring greater meaning and purpose to all aspects of our existence.
It's starting to sound like Ikigai is not just a philosophy, but like a whole way of life.
That's a great way to put it. It's
Oh,
about
yes.
aligning our actions with our values and finding joy and purpose in everything we do.
I can't wait to learn more about all of this in part 2. But before we wrap up this part of the deep dive,
Mhm.
I wanted to touch on something that really stood out to me. The story of the cheerful elevator operator who found so much joy in her seemingly mundane job.
Ah, yes, that was a wonderful example of how we can cultivate Ikigai,
Yeah.
even the most unexpected places.
It really challenged my assumptions about what kind of work can be meaningful and fulfilling. Yeah, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that our work has to be, glamorous or high profile to be truly satisfying.
Yeah.
But that story reminded me that it's really about finding the ikigai within the work itself, regardless of, the external perceptions.
Absolutely. It's about finding those moments of joy and connection,
Yeah.
even in the simplest of tasks. And that brings us back to the concept of microflow. Remember, it's not just about finding, big sweeping passions, but also about recognizing those little sparks of joy that occur throughout our day.
So it's about paying attention to those moments when we lose track of time,
Yeah.
even if it's just for a few minutes, because those are the moments when we're truly in flow.
Exactly. And those moments can be found everywhere, If
Yeah.
if we're open to them, they might be in the rhythm of chopping vegetables for dinner, or in the quiet focus of folding laundry,
Right.
or even in the simple act of listening attentively to a friend.
I love that. It's a reminder that ikigai is not something that's reserved for a select few, but something that's accessible to all of us in every moment.
And that's a really empowering thought, isn't it?
It is.
It means that we have the power to create a more fulfilling and meaningful life, regardless of our circumstances.
Absolutely. And I think that's a perfect note to end this part of the deep dive on. We've covered a lot of ground today, but there's still so much more to explore.
That's right. In part two, we'll delve even deeper into the world of Ikigai and uncover even more practical strategies for living a longer, happier, and more fulfilling life.
We can't wait. See you in part 2.
Well, in part two, we'll delve deeper into some of the fascinating concepts that we've touched upon,
Okay.
like flow and anti-fragility.
Okay.
We'll explore practical techniques for cultivating these qualities in our lives and discuss how they can contribute to a more, fulfilling and resilient existence.
That sounds amazing. I'm really intrigued by this idea of anti-fragility becoming stronger through challenges.
Yeah.
Can you give us a little preview of what we can expect to learn about that in part two?
Of course. We'll explore how embracing uncertainty and stepping outside of our comfort zones can actually make us more resilient in the face of adversity.
Okay.
We'll also discuss how diversifying our skills and experiences can act as a buffer against, unexpected events.
It's almost like building a safety net for life's inevitable ups and downs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we'll also delve deeper into the concept of flow and how we can create more of those moments of effortless engagement in our lives.
Okay.
We'll discuss practical tips for identifying activities that lead to flow and explore how we can structure our days to maximize these experiences.
So it's not just about finding those activities, but also about creating the right conditions for flow to occur.
Precisely.
Okay, cool.
We'll also look at how we can, apply the principles of Ikigai to different areas of our lives, such as our relationships, our work, and our leisure time.
Okay.
We'll discuss how finding our Ikigai can bring greater meaning and purpose to all aspects of our existence.
It's starting to sound like Ikigai is not just a philosophy, but a whole way of life.
That's a great way to put it.
Wow.
It's about aligning our actions with our values and finding joy and purpose in everything we do.
I can't wait to learn more about all of this in part two.
Yeah.
But before we wrap up this part of the deep dive, I wanted to touch on something that really stood out to me. The story of the cheerful elevator operator who found so much joy in her seemingly mundane job.
Ah, yes. That was a wonderful example of how we can cultivate Ikigai even in the most unexpected places.
It really challenged my assumptions about what kind of work can be meaningful and fulfilling.
Right.
I think it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that our work has to be glamorous or high profile to be truly satisfying.
Yeah.
But that story reminded me that it's really about finding the Ikigai within the work itself, regardless of the external perceptions.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's about finding those moments of joy and connection, even in the simplest of tasks. And that brings us back to the concept of microflow. Remember, it's not just about finding big, sweeping passions, but also about recognizing those little sparks of joy that occur throughout our day.
So it's about paying attention to those moments when we lose track of time, even if it's just for a few minutes, because those are the moments when we're truly in flow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And those moments can be found everywhere if we're open to them.
Right.
They might be in the rhythm of chopping vegetables for dinner, or in the quiet focus of folding laundry, or even in the simple act of listening attentively to a friend.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that Ikigai is not something that's reserved for a select few, but something that's accessible to all of us in every moment.
And that's a really empowering thought, isn't it?
It is.
It means that we have the power to create a more fulfilling and meaningful life, regardless of our circumstances.
Absolutely. And I think that's a perfect note to end this part of the deep dive on. We've covered a lot of ground today, but there's still so much more to explore.
That's right. In part 3, we'll delve even deeper into the world of Ikigai and uncover even more practical strategies for living a longer, happier, and more fulfilling life.
I can't wait. See you in part 3. Welcome back to our deep dive into Ikigai. We've already unpacked so much about this Japanese philosophy for a long and happy life. But now it's time to get practical.
You're right. We've explored the concepts, the stories, the why.
Yeah.
But now what about the how?
Right. How do we actually bring more Ikigai into our own lives?
Well, luckily the book doesn't leave us hanging. It provides what it calls the 10 rules of Ikigai. Now, these aren't hard and fast rules.
Okay.
More like, guiding principles.
I like that. Signposts, not stop signs.
Yeah.
So what's the first signpost on this Ikigai journey?
The first rule is stay active, don't retire. We've encountered this idea before with that incredible 102-year-old karate master from Okinawa.
Right, he was still practicing every day. But for those of us who aren't, martial arts masters, what does staying active really look like within Ikigai?
It's about finding an Ikigai that keeps you moving. Maybe it's gardening, volunteering, starting a new hobby, even just taking a daily walk with a friend.
Right.
The point is to stay engaged both physically and mentally throughout your life.
So it's not about hitting the gym for hours every day. unless that's your Ikigai, of course. It's more about finding activities that bring you joy and keep you moving, no matter your age or physical abilities.
Exactly. And that brings us to rule number 2. Take it slow. This might seem counterintuitive in our fast-paced world, but it's essential for living a more ikigai-filled life.
Honestly, slowing down sounds amazing, but also a bit challenging. How do we actually put this into practice?
It's about making conscious choices to, simplify your life,
Okay.
prioritize what truly matters, and create space for rest and reflection. Maybe
Mhm.
it's turning off notifications for a few hours each day, scheduling in some downtime, or simply savoring the little moments like, that first cup of coffee in the morning.
It's about being present instead of constantly rushing to the next thing. I can see how that would reduce stress and allow us to appreciate life more fully.
Precisely. And rule number 3 ties in nicely with this idea of slowing down. Don't fill your stomach. Remember harahachibu.
Ah, yes, the practice of eating until you're 80% full.
Uh,
I have to admit, I'm still working on this one. It's so easy to like just keep eating until the plate is empty.
It takes practice, but it's such a valuable habit to cultivate. It's not about depriving yourself, but about becoming more mindful of your body's signals and stopping when you feel comfortably satisfied, not overly full.
So it's about tuning into those subtle cues from our bodies and honoring them instead of just mindlessly eating.
Exactly. And speaking of honoring, rule number 4 emphasizes the importance of our social connections. Surround yourself with good friends.
That's one rule I can definitely get behind. Good friends make life so much richer.
They do. Friends provide support, laughter, companionship, a sense of belonging. Cultivating strong social connections is essential for a long and happy life, and it plays a key role in finding your ikigai.
It's about sharing experiences, supporting each other through challenges, and celebrating life's joys together.
Absolutely. And now, for rule number 5, get in shape for your next birthday.
I like that framing, not just about fitting into a certain size, but about celebrating another year of life and being able to fully enjoy it.
Exactly. It's a reminder to prioritize our physical health, to find ways to move our bodies that bring us joy,
Yeah.
and to take care of ourselves so we can continue to live a vibrant life for years to come.
So it's about finding activities that we genuinely enjoy, whether it's dancing, hiking, swimming, or even just taking a brisk walk and making them a regular part of our lives.
Exactly. And rule number 6 reminds us of the power of a simple yet profound act. Smile.
Sometimes it's easy to forget how much of an impact a smile can have, both on ourselves and on those around us.
It's true. A smile can brighten someone's day, diffuse tension, and even boost our own mood. It's about choosing to approach life with a positive attitude, even amidst challenges.
So it's about finding those little things that bring a smile to our face and making an effort to, share that joy with others.
Exactly. And that brings us to rule number 7. Reconnect with nature.
This one feels especially important in our increasingly urbanized world.
It's so easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle of city life and forget about the restorative power of nature. But spending time outdoors, whether it's in a park, a forest, or even just your backyard, can have a profound impact on our well-being.
It's about taking time to appreciate the beauty of the natural world, to breathe in fresh air, and to feel the sun on our skin. It's about remembering that we're part of something larger than ourselves.
Beautifully said. And rule number 8 builds on this idea of appreciation. Give thanks.
Gratitude is such a powerful practice. It helps us shift our focus from what we lack to what we have, which can make a huge difference in our overall outlook on life.
It's about taking time each day to acknowledge the good things in our lives, both big and small.
Mhm.
It could be as simple as appreciating a delicious meal, a warm bed, or a supportive friend.
It's about cultivating a sense of thankfulness for the gifts that we often take for granted.
And rule number 9 encourages us to embrace the present moment. Live in the moment.
It's so easy to get caught up in regrets about the past or anxieties about the future,
Yeah.
but this rule reminds us that the present moment is all we truly have.
It's about focusing our attention on what's happening right now, without judgment or distraction. It's about savoring the simple pleasures of life and being fully present in our interactions with others.
It's about letting go of the need to control everything and simply allowing ourselves to, experience life as it unfolds.
And finally, rule number 10 brings us full circle. Follow your ikigai.
It's a reminder that finding our purpose and passion is a journey, not a destination. It's about being open to new experiences, exploring our interests, and trusting that our Ikigai will reveal itself in its own time.
And remember, your Ikigai might evolve over time as you grow and change. It's not about finding one perfect thing and sticking with it forever.
Right.
It's about being adaptable, curious, and always open to new possibilities.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of Ikigai, I'm left with a sense of hope and inspiration. It feels like we've been given a toolkit for living a longer, happier, and more filling life. And it all starts with that simple question: what makes you excited to wake up each morning?
That's it. And remember, even small steps taken in the direction of your Ikigai can make a world of difference. So what will your first step be?
That's a great question for all of us to consider. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Ikigai. We hope you found it as insightful and inspiring as we did. Until next time, keep exploring, keep growing, and keep living your Ikigai.